Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into something really fundamental. It's about how we all find information online, specifically, Google search. It's been our default for decades, hasn't it? But right now, it's going through probably the biggest change, the most radical transformation in maybe a generation.
Yeah.
So this Deep Dive, it's all about Google's really profound shift towards AI-powered search. And we're drawing on insights from a real SEO veteran, someone who's actually seen it all right from the early 90s. I think it's just a pretty unique viewpoint on this massive change. So our mission today is, it's to understand not just what's changing, which is huge in itself, but really why it matters. Why it matters for anyone searching online, or maybe even more crucially, anyone who wants their own content, their website, their business to actually be found. Okay, let's unpack this. We'll look at a bit of the history of search, how AI stormed onto the scene, and the stuff you absolutely need to know right now to deal with this new world.
Right. So let's think back a bit. The early 1990s, the internet. Well, it was kind of a wild frontier, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely. If you wanted to find something, you were probably digging through directories. Remember AltaVista or Yahoo directories?
I do, yeah. Feels like ancient history now.
And on optimization back then. It was pretty crude, right? Often just stuffing keywords onto a page, repeating the same phrase over and over.
Exactly. Keyword stuffing, trying to swap links with anyone who'd agree. It was, let's say, less sophisticated, right. Much messier.
Then, boom, 1998. The first really big shift happens. Google rolls out PageRank.
Ah, yes, PageRank. That was the game changer.
Suddenly, links weren't just about quantity anymore.
No, not at all. They started to signify authority, trust. A link from a respected site, that became incredibly valuable. Gold, really.
So over the next, 2 decades, SEO search engine optimization, it grew up. It went from those simple tricks to this complex mix. You needed technical skills, smart content, and this constant effort to build real authority online.
That's a perfect summary. In that, let's call it the old world of SEO, before AI really took hold, the formula was quite, predictable. You had key pillars.
Okay, like what?
Well, you started with keywords. You had to figure out what terms people are actually searching for. Tools like Word Tracker were early on. Then later, much more powerful ones like Ahrefs or SEMrush came along.
Right, identifying the targets.
Then came on-page optimization. That meant making sure that those keywords were strategically placed in your page titles, the headers, the meta descriptions, and naturally within the content itself.
Standard practice for a long time.
A huge piece, maybe the biggest for many years, was backlinks. Getting other websites to link to your site.
How did people do that? Guest posting.
Yeah, guest posting was a common tactic, submitting your site to directories. But, less scrupulous methods also popped up. Things like link farms, basically networks of junk sites just made to swap links. Or private blog networks, PBNs, where someone owned a whole network of sites just to funnel links.
Yeah, the darker side of SEO.
Indeed. And finally, you had technical SEO. Making sure your website was fast, worked well on mobile phones, and importantly, that Google's crawlers, their automated bots, could easily find, read, and index all your pages.
The nuts and bolts.
Exactly. Let's make it concrete. Say back in 2010, you wanted to rank #1 for best coffee in New York. What would you do?
Okay, walk me through it.
Well, you'd repeat that exact phrase, best coffee in New York, in your title tags. The text in the browser tab. And you'd sprinkle it throughout your page content. Probably unnaturally so by today's standards.
Right. Keyword density was a thing.
Then, crucially, you'd try to get other websites to link to your page using that exact phrase as the anchor text, the clickable words in the link. And yeah, you'd submit your coffee shop to local directories like Yelp.
And the result?
Often you'd actually see your site climb up the search results pages, the SERPs, sometimes within weeks. It felt very mechanical. Put in X effort, get Y result.
Yeah, that mechanical system. It worked. Kind of, but it definitely had problems. It really pushed people to focus on just churning out content, quantity over quality, right?
Absolutely. You ended up with so much thin content pages that didn't offer much real value, just stuffed with keywords. And the link spam, it really cluttered up the search results.
Google must have been trying to clean that up, though.
Oh, constantly. They were always refining their algorithms. We saw big updates like Panda in 2011 that targeted low-quality content farms. Then Penguin in 2012 went after those manipulative backlinks, the link farms and PBNs.
I remember those causing quite a stir.
They did. And even Hummingbird in 2013 started pushing Google towards understanding the meaning behind searches, more semantic understanding. But, and this is the key point, these were refinements. They were tweaks to the existing system. They weren't the fundamental AI revolution we're seeing now.
So it's like they were patching the old system, not building a new one yet.
Precisely.
And if you think about how you used to search, maybe how easy it felt to game the system sometimes, you really start to grasp just how big this current AI shift actually is. Because that old world, that mechanical system, it feels light years away now. Honestly, nothing Google did before, not Panda, not Penguin, none of it compares to the disruption AI is causing right now. This is where it gets really interesting.
It really is. This AI integration wasn't an overnight thing, though. It's been a journey, building step by step with more sophisticated models.
Okay, so what were the milestones?
The first major AI leap, you could say, was RankBrain in 2015. That was Google's first real machine learning system designed to help figure out queries it hadn't seen before. Ambiguous searches, totally new phrases.
So it was about interpreting the unknown.
Exactly. Google wasn't just matching words anymore. It was starting to infer intent, trying to guess what you meant, even if your search was a bit messy or conversational.
That sounds like a big step already.
It was huge. Then, in 2019, BERT came along. Bidirectional encoder representations from transformers. Quite a mouthful.
Okay, Bert, what did that change?
BERT was massive because it allowed Google to understand context and nuance in language like never before. It looked at the whole sentence, the relationship between words, not just keywords in isolation.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Think of a query like, 2019 Brazil traveler to USA need visa. Before BERT, Google might get confused by the word order, but BERT could understand the relationship between traveler to USA and need visa. It correctly figured out the user's intent. Does a Brazilian person traveling to the US in 2019 need a visa?
Ah, so it understood the meaning behind the words.
Precisely. This really pushed content creators to write naturally, like a human talking to another human, not just stuffing keywords for a machine.
Okay, RankBrain, then BERT. What came next?
Building on that foundation, we got MUM in 2021, the multitask unified model, even more powerful.
Multitask, how so?
MUM can process information across different formats, simultaneously text, images, even different languages. Think of it like Google becoming a super smart researcher. It can connect information from various sources to answer really complex, multi-step questions.
Like planning a big trip.
Exactly. Something like planning a trip across multiple countries, needing info on sites, visas, maybe even comparing climates using text and images. MUM was designed to handle that complexity. Something simple keyword matching could never do.
Wow. Okay, so that brings us pretty close to now.
It does, because now we're deep in the era of the Search Generative Experience, SGE. This started rolling out widely in 2023, and it's still evolving through 2025.
And SGE is what people are seeing right at the top of results now, the AI answers.
That's the one. Instead of the classic 10 blue links, you often get these AI snapshots first. They synthesize information from multiple websites into a direct, concise answer right there on the results page.
So the core disruption, it's that the goal isn't just to get a click anymore.
That's the crux of it. SEO is shifting. It's no longer just about ranking your website high enough to get someone to click through. It's increasingly about being included, cited, maybe even summarized within that AI-generated answer itself. Your information needs to feed the AI.
And you're absolutely seeing these changes right now when you search. It's fundamentally changing how we discover information. The whole landscape is shifting under our feet. And honestly, the implications feel enormous. So, okay, this leads us straight to the big question, right? What does all this AI integration actually mean for finding information, for sharing it, and crucially, for content creators trying to get seen?
Yeah, this is where the rubber meets the road. The old rules are genuinely being rewritten. First off, there's a massive shift from keywords to intent.
Okay, expand on that.
Well, old SEO was obsessed with targeting specific keywords. You'd research them meticulously. Now, Google's AI is so good at interpreting user intent, the underlying goal behind the search. If you search, say, how to fix a dripping faucet, Google understands you need DIY plumbing help.
So you don't need to list every single variation like leaky tap repair or stop faucet drip.
Exactly. Google gets the core intent. Your content needs to satisfy that intent comprehensively, not just repeat phrases.
Makes sense. What else is changing?
Second big shift, from pages to entities. Google's AI relies heavily on its knowledge graph. Think of this as a massive database of real-world people, places, companies, concepts, entities, and how they're all connected.
So it's not just seeing words on a page.
Right. It's understanding that Apple isn't just a fruit. It's a massive tech entity with products, history, executives, locations, all linked together. So optimization isn't just about words anymore. It's about getting Google to recognize you or your brand as an authoritative entity in your specific field.
How do you even do that?
We'll get to the strategies, but it involves signaling your expertise and connections clearly.
Okay, third shift.
This one's huge.
Yeah.
From rankings to answers, those AI answers, SGE snapshots at the top, they mean people often get their answer without clicking any links.
The zero-click search idea.
Precisely. So click-through rates to websites are likely to decline for many queries. This means brand visibility within the AI answer might become more valuable than just raw traffic numbers from that search result. Getting mentioned or cited by the AI is key.
That's a scary thought for website owners relying on Google traffic.
It is a major adaptation. And finally, there's a related shift from raw links to trust signals. Backlinks still matter, don't get me wrong, but Google's AI is putting enormous weight on EEAT.
EEAT. Refresh my memory.
Experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Essentially, Google wants to know who is behind the content, what's their real-world experience, what credentials do they have, is the source trustworthy? These factors are now critical for getting your information surfaced, especially in sensitive areas like health or finance, and increasingly everywhere else too. It's about proving genuine credibility.
So pulling that together, we're moving from stuffing keywords to really understanding intent, from just getting on page 1 to actually being featured in the AI answer, from chasing any link to building genuine trust and authority.
You've got it. It's a fundamental change in thinking. Optimize for the user's need, prove you're a trustworthy source, and connect yourself to real-world entities.
Which really means the bar is higher now, doesn't it? Quality, trustworthiness, they're more important than ever, both for people creating content and for us just trying to find reliable answers.
Absolutely. The game has changed, and the standards are definitely higher.
Okay, so let's get practical. If you're listening to this, maybe you're a content creator, a small business owner, or just someone wanting to understand how to navigate this. What do you actually do? What are the concrete strategies for this AI era?
Right. Let's talk tactics. The strategies now are different, but they're also, well, quite logical when you understand how the AI works. First big one, optimize for entities, not just keywords.
Okay, how? You mentioned signaling connections.
Exactly. The key tool here is structured data, specifically using schema.org markup. Think of schema as a vocabulary you add to your website's code that explicitly tells Google what things are. Kind of, yeah. You label your content to say, this article was written by this specific person, this person has these credentials, this organization is located at this address. For instance, a medical article should use schema to clearly identify the doctor-author, link to their professional profile, list their credentials. This helps Google connect your content directly to an authoritative entity in its knowledge graph.
So you're making it easy for Google to verify who you are.
Precisely. Second, really double down on building authority with EEA.
Experience, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness. How do you show that?
Practically. Showcase detailed author bios on your articles, highlighting real-world experience and qualifications. Don't be shy about credentials. Inside your content, cite credible external sources to back up claims. And actively collect and display reviews, testimonials, case studies, anything that builds social proof and trust signals around your brand or yourself. Google needs to see evidence that you're a reliable expert.
Makes sense. Be transparent. Back things up. What's third?
Focus on creating conversational, helpful content. Think about how real people ask questions. Use natural language. Answer questions thoroughly.
Where do you find those questions?
Google itself gives you clues. Look at the people also ask boxes in search results. Use tools like Answer the Public. These show you the exact questions people are typing in. Structure your content to answer these questions directly, clearly, and comprehensively. Right for humans asking questions.
Good tip. Fourth strategy.
Leverage multimedia. Remember MUM. It processes text, images, video together. So don't just focus on text. Optimize your YouTube videos for search too. Use descriptive alt text for all your images. That's the text description that helps visually impaired users and search engines understand the image. Include charts, infographics, photos. Richer content has a better chance of being surfaced in those comprehensive AI answers.
So think beyond just the words on the page.
Definitely. And finally, number 5, diversify your traffic sources. This is crucial.
Because of the zero-click thing.
Exactly. With AI answers potentially reducing clicks to websites for some searches, you can't rely solely on Google organic traffic anymore. It's just too risky. You need to invest in other channels.
Like what?
Building a strong email list. Engaging in social communities, think Reddit, LinkedIn groups, niche forums where your audience hangs out, and definitely leaning into video SEO on platforms like YouTube or even TikTok, which has its own growing search function. Don't put all your digital eggs in the Google basket.
Right. So entity optimization with schema, proving EAT, writing helpful conversational content using multimedia, and diversifying traffic.
That's the core playbook for adapting.
It really feels like these aren't just SEO tricks anymore, are they? They're fundamental shifts in how you create and share genuinely valuable, trustworthy information online. It's about being a real authority and thinking much bigger than just ranking algorithms. So let's try and wrap this up. The big message, listening to our expert who's seen 30 years of this, SEO isn't dead, right? Not by a long.
You're not dead, no. Profoundly evolving.
We've seen this journey, haven't we? From simple directories to the revolution of PageRank, the huge shift to mobile first, and now AI-generated answers. Each major change forced adaptation.
Absolutely. And this AI revolution, you could argue it's the biggest adaptation required yet. But the core principle, the absolute foundation, it hasn't changed. You must help users get the answers they seek.
That's the constant.
It is. If your content, your brand, everything you do online truly aligns with providing authoritative, helpful, trustworthy information, you will thrive, even in this AI-first world. It really is a shift away from thinking about hacks or tricks and towards genuinely understanding, how does AI see my brand? How does it evaluate my credibility? You optimize for trust, for authority, for entity recognition now. That's the future.
That really clarifies the path forward. Okay, before we finish, let's leave our listeners with something provocative to chew on.
Okay.
Google is reportedly already exploring or even striking licensing deals with some major publishers to use their content directly in these AI answers.
That's a huge development.
It raises a really important question, doesn't it? What happens if the very nature of finding information on the web becomes, well, a curated experience? Maybe licensed, maybe even partly a paid experience behind the scenes. What could that mean for independent creators, for smaller voices, and just for the general access to a wide range of information online? Something to think about. We really hope this deep dive has given you plenty to mull over, whether you're mainly consuming content online or you're out there creating it. Until next time, keep digging deeper.
Austin CodeMonkey delivers expert web design and SEO services for businesses that want more calls, more leads, and more jobs. Our SEO strategies ensure your online presence keeps growing and bringing in results. For more information, call 737-932-7532 or visit our website at austincodemonkey.com.